Hey y'all, hey, it's Sharita again with Blank Space Designs, where we get into all the shenanigans and behind the scenes nonsense of running a small boutique stationery business while also being a 9 to 5 corporate girly. Thanks for checking me out. So, let's just get right into it. I have said over the last couple of videos that this summer for me and Blank Space was not going to be very pop-up event heavy. It's just too hot. I haven't been feeling very well, so I just didn't want to be out in that type of heat and make myself feel any worse. So for the summer, until we get back into the pop-up season later in the fall, we are going to really concentrate on streamlining our catalog, getting some of the new products out that I've been thinking about for quite possibly the last year, and also content creation. I woke up today in a great mood and I absolutely have to take advantage of it while it lasts. So for this weekend, it is going to be content creation heavy. Now, I've absolutely decided to jump completely headfirst into this content creation. And I have decided to do a little bit of a challenge. And that challenge is to post a real TikTok short every single day for the month of June. Now, does that sound ridiculous? Of course it does. Because do I struggle to even have consistency for longer than 2 weeks when I'm only posting whenever I feel 2 or 3 times a week? Of course, I struggle with that. But that's the whole point of it being a challenge. I am absolutely going to challenge myself to post a short form video every single day for the month of June. I'm not going to take it crazy seriously, which I know has been my problem in the past, looking for perfection where perfection isn't even possible. And another issue that I've had is just really doing the comparison game. I can be very bad about that when it comes to anything business related. The comparison game really can hit me over the head quite heavily sometimes, and I kind of get stuck in any of my decision making or any of my progress. But we're just going to try to let all that go, and we are going to do what we can with the resources that we can within our capability. That's where we are. So let's get into the cobbled together content creation strategy that I have created for the month of June. One of the major things that I'm going to do for the month of June, especially in the first couple of weeks, is to take it pretty slowly. Instead of attempting to do my entire content creation for all 30 days, today we are just going to do a content calendar for the first 2 weeks. That is 14 videos that I need to plan and get the actual content for, and just start from there. And then a week from now or whatever, we'll work on the last half of the month. I will say that I've already done quite a bit of work for that. Aren't y'all proud of me? I have actually done a lot of bit of that work already. And in the midst of doing the work, I said maybe I should bring my friends along. So here we are. So what I did and what I encourage all of y'all to do, if you don't do it already, is on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you follow other like-minded people. Whenever I see a reel that I like, or that can absolutely or that can work for my business as well, I save it. It's so easy to save content like that in your profile. So easy. So whenever I am running low on any kind of ideas, which is always, I can just go to that save folder and go through and see other things that other people have done and just recreate something like that. That's how trends work. So the first thing I did was I went through that save folder and I wrote 14 ideas for short form content for the first half of June. I just went ahead and assigned them to uh, different days. One second, guys. What's up? So over here in the atmosphere, I will put the 14 different short form content ideas that I decided that I was going to do for the first half of June. None of them are some sort of crazy, original, and thought provoking, ridiculous ideas. They are just things that have been trending across social media over the last like month and a half. Most of it is probably very familiar to most of you small business owners, and that's what we're going for. Just making sure that we have some sort of content that we put out. I am not looking to win some sort of award for any of the content that I am currently attempting to put out into the world right now. So the next thing that I did after writing down all 14 ideas, and I will say that I kept it very simple the way that I am attempting to organize this information. I'm using my Google Calendar to just make sure that I stay organized um, about what day each video is going to be used. And then for the actual content part of it, it's just good old paper and pen. You cannot beat that. I am just writing down the different videos that I need and comparing it against some of the videos that I may already have. Now, I will say a big part of what I'm also doing, and this is definitely an idea that I got from some other content creators and the way that they strategize their content creation. One of the big things that I did was that I just went through videos that I already have, content that I have already had, even content that I've already used, and started assigning any sort of content that I can repurpose to the ideas that I have written down. For example, there are 14 uh, content ideas that I have. And of those 14, there were 7 videos in my phone that could be used for these ideas already. So I'm already halfway done. Already halfway done. I already have content that I could just go ahead and repurpose for these particular ideas. And that's a heavy weight already lifted from my shoulders. When it comes to content creation, one thing that really is going to help me going forward is a pretty mind blowing but simple thing that I read online, and I couldn't tell you who to credit this to because I am so chronically online. I have no idea where this came from. But somebody said that we put way too much thought into content creation and thinking that everything needs to be original or brand new. And that's not even how branding works, because branding, for the most part, is the same thing being shown to your customer base so that those things are automatically recognizable as a you thing. She basically, well, it was a girl, I do remember that. She basically was saying, you see the same commercials all the time. You can right now tell what kind of commercials McDonald's has out, what kind of commercial Macy's has out, any Target. You know the commercials that they are continuously putting out. So what makes us think that we have to have original one-time use content over and over and over again? Repurpose your content. Put that stuff out. Maybe don't use the same video every single day, but repurpose that content. No one is going to be surprised by that. And nobody with any sense is going to go into your comments and say, we've already seen this before. Who's doing that? And to be quite honest, if you are doing that, don't talk to me about it. I don't care. I don't care. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to repurpose content that I have already filmed. You've seen it once, you're going to see it again, and you're probably going to see it 3, 4, 5 more times after that. We are all about that going forward. Anyway, so like I was saying, of these 14 ideas, 7 of these I already have videos that I am going to just repurpose from other things I've used it for. Especially if you're also doing long form content on YouTube, I'm absolutely going to go through some of this long form content that I have spent hours recording and try to see if there's like bits and pieces I can pull from the long form content to use in my actual short form. That's a little bit harder only because the aspect ratio and things get a little bit skewed. But I paid for the professional version of CapCut, and I'm just going to play around with that a little bit more and see if there is a pretty aesthetically pleasing way that I can use my horizontal content to make it vertical in a way that makes sense. But we'll go into that a little bit later and see if that's something that I can make happen. Anyway, so, of these 14 ideas, there are only 7 real videos that I need to actually record. And because I'm not attempting to make it really long, when I say short form, I'm really talking about like 20, 30 seconds or less. Like I truly am talking short form content. None of this should really take a long period of time. Today is just going to be knocking out all these pieces and making sure that we have all of the pieces recorded that we need for our first 14 days of June. And then we will get into the editing piece either tonight or that'll be a tomorrow issue. I'm happy about this strategy. This current strategy I think is going to work for me. I will say a lot of this truly is only going to work because the vibes are high. If I woke up in a terrible mode, I wouldn't be doing any of this. I know that about myself. I know that I wouldn't be doing any of this. I more than likely would be sitting in this dark studio, maybe working on a couple of orders while I comfort watch some of my shows or listen to music, but I definitely wouldn't be doing any of this. I know that about myself. So I just need to make sure that when the vibes are vibing, I need to take full advantage of it. So 2 weeks from now, when I'm not in as great of a mood, I've already set myself up for success and I've already scheduled all the things that I needed for that particular time. Anyway, let's stop all this yapping and start actually recording some of this content, shall we? All right, so the first piece of content that we are going to record is some of our most popular sticker sales from May. I will say that today is Saturday, May 31st, so I do have a pretty extensive history. I do know what sold pretty well this month. So we are going to grab a couple of those stickers that I have over here off of this little sticker board holder thing that I have. And I am pretty much already set up. I'm going to have my wall be the backdrop. I think that this is cute as a backdrop for the stickers. I think again, I'm trying not to overthink it because that's what causes me to have issues. You know what I'm going to do? We are going to move this down so that this is also in the shots. Is that too much? No, I think that's cute. So that is also in the shot. And that is going to be what our backdrop is for this first content thing is. So let's get going. And that's it. That's it for the first piece. We are done with that. So that will be the 5 top stickers that were sold in May. Right. Moving on. Let's get. What should we move on to? This one, I'm in front of the camera, I need some clothes. This one, I might leave the house for. I do have to run some errands. So I'm thinking about doing one or two of these outside of the house, but we'll talk about this. This one I also need clothes on. So let's do those. Let's do these two where I am actually on camera. Let's grab a quick little shirt to put on and let's keep moving. All right. We have a small costume change. We do have our second phone camera set up so that we can do our short form content. So let's wrap this really quickly. Ignore me while I'm looking off to the side because I did not and will not be too concerned about the getting his hair together. Uh, okay, so we did that a handful of times. Hopefully, it is enough to get what I needed, and we'll just sync it up and get it all together. And that's another little piece of content down. Moving on. Since we're already here at the desk, and there's another on-screen video that I want. Making the notebook. Let's do that. So let's go ahead and get set up so that I can quickly do that. And one last little costume change. So this is probably the last. No, it's not. What am I talking about? So moving on to the next one. So this one is what is this one? Stressed out about having no orders while also stressed out about having all the orders. It's just meant to be some B-roll. And I actually have an order that I should be getting out very soon. It is a half-year planner, a very sweary planner. So if you're interested, definitely go and check that out. I mean, if you're here, you like planning, you should check out my cousin ass planner. Anyway, so as part of some B-roll, I am just going to punch a few holes in this. Just 10, 15, 20 seconds of that. And that'll be it for this particular piece of content. Making sure that my background looks good. For those of you who don't know, I actually have it set up on my television where I'm able to cast to my TV so I can make sure that I'm in frame at all times. It has been a game changer. It is so good. And I don't have to do a lot of running around to make sure that things are in focus and that I am in the frame and all of that. It really is a lot simpler to get a lot of this done now that I have figured out how to get that done. Because I will say, as much as I like this Google Pixel, it annoyed me to no end that I could not figure out how to cast to this TV. But I got it done, and that's what I'm looking over there. So much talking from the weekend. Let's go. Let's punch this up. All right, I think that's going to do it for that particular one. I wasn't going to do all of them quite right now, but that's fine. I definitely need to get that out in the next day or two. But a little bit of, a little 30 seconds of some B-roll that is going to work very well for what I have planned. So that is done. Um, so we actually only have two things left. One of them I kind of want to go out into the world in order to do because it has to do with putting stuff in a cart and like shopping, maybe that kind of thing. Um, I do have errands, so I should do it right. I'll just go ahead and do it. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Let's stop playing around. Let's get something that's not in the studio. And the other is a mini studio tour video. It's going to be a short-term concept. It's going to be a reel about the studio being my happy place. The only thing is, this studio is not very happy at the moment. It needs to be cleaned. So I think that also needs to happen a little bit later in the day, unless I'm able to repurpose some of my long form content from my studio makeover. I am going to look into that first and see if I'm able to change some of that horizontal content into something vertical that actually works. If I'm able to do that, then we have that done. But as of now, let's get ourselves together and I guess go run some errands so we can do this last little content. And to be quite honest, I might bring just being flexible and just on the fly. Maybe I'll bring a couple of stickers and maybe get some sticker photos and videos out in the wild. No pressure, nothing crazy. Maybe just get some IRL in the wild photos and videos of some of the stickers that I have on hand if I get the moment, if I get the chance. But yeah, let's get ourselves presentable to the world. It's a very nice day outside, so let's get out of here. Let's take this content creation out of the house. I'm back.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before the new. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I like to be away in my patience. Stay up, I feel so outdated. How can we look the other way? Sun is out, but the sky is gray. What would happen if I took a chance? It's always hard at first glance. I don't wanna, but I know I gotta do it. The truth is hard to swallow.
Hey y'all, hey. It's a few days later, 2 days later, and we have just wrapped the content creation for the first 14 days of June. Wrapping it up all in one day did not happen. As I was out and about at Michael's getting some B-roll and doing a few of the videos that I had planned while I was outside in real life, my boo texted me and asked if I wanted dinner and a movie, and who am I to say no to that? So that was the rest of the evening from there. I will say that I do think that I bit off more than I can chew. Not because I couldn't get it done, not because I couldn't get it done, because I did get it done, but only because I decided to start this challenge on the last day of the month and schedule it immediately. I do believe that if you're going to do this, give yourself a couple of weeks, especially if you're like myself and this isn't some things that like come naturally to you, or it's a crazy enjoyable part of your business, then definitely give yourself a couple of weeks to attempt to do this. Trying to knock out 14 different short form pieces of content in 48 hours is a silly idea and did not get it done, but I did get it done in 72 hours. So, congratulate you, girl. At least we did that. Did it come with a lot of cussing? It did. I do want to be pretty upfront and let you know that half of these videos, if not more than half of these videos, were repurposed content. Just other pieces of short form or long form content that I just ripped from somewhere else and repurposed for the purposes that I'm using them today. A couple of the videos I might have literally just used as is, and other videos that I kind of spliced together to make them work in the way that I wanted to. So I did not want to leave y'all hanging. So at the very least, here's a short little synopsis of what those videos ended up looking like and whether or not they were new pieces that I had to record or whether they were repurposed. So roll that footage wherever that may be. So there we have it. For the first 14 days of June, we now have content to use every single day. And it's going to be across 5 different platforms. That is going to include Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, and YouTube Shorts, using the exact same pieces of content and may just change, not may, and I did just change up the audio based on what commercial audio is available on what platform. Didn't spend a whole lot of time attempting to put a lot of thought into the audio. Pretty much just use whatever trending audio matched the video or whatever trending audio made sense for that video type. Didn't spend a lot of time in that. Also, didn't spend a lot of time using keywords and hashtags and that sort of thing. Didn't spend a lot of time in like the captions. This challenge truly was just to challenge me into making a piece of content for every single day of the first 14 days of the month. That is it. And I did that. They are all scheduled. They're all out there. And maybe the next time we'll focus on SEO and keywords and hashtags and all of that. But baby steps, baby steps. So it is now June the 2nd, 2 days into the new month, and I would love for y'all to go over to all of my socials and just, drop a little hi or what's up or girl, I see what you're doing here on any of the places where you follow me, just to show that you see the nonsense that I'm putting out. So my intention is, because of how haphazardly this went, I am going to immediately start planning for the last half of the month. I am pretty sure that I can continue this trend at least for the rest of June, but going to give myself more time to get it together. So as I'm out and about or in the studio and that sort of thing, I'm going to be real heavy in just keeping this camera rolling and recording whatever kind of B-roll or action shots or product shots, just ABC, always be clicking. I'm not sure if that's a real photography thing. I got that from Bob's Burgers, but it's apropos for this situation. ABC, always be clicking for the next week or two to ensure that I have a variety of shots for the last half of the month. So we're only 2 days into the month, and I can tell you that this is not sustainable. For me, and it's not sustainable. I do work a full-time job, as all of you already know, and content creation isn't something that comes very easily for me. Um, setting up a camera and just get yapping into the camera about whatever I feel, that's easy enough. But a lot of short form content has to be planned a little bit more strategically than that. You only have 20 or less seconds to grab somebody's attention or get your point across and that sort of thing. And as a long-winded girly, that's just I'm not great at that. I'm not great at that, which is why you don't find me talking in a lot of my short form content because ooh, I want to tell you all the things. And telling you all the things in 20 seconds isn't something that comes ridiculously naturally to me, which is weird to think about because I do think that I'm pretty concise and clear with my actual job, my professional job. But, you know, that's the professional Sharita. I tend to want to be pretty concise with them because I'm trying to get off of that Teams meeting. But with y'all, long winded and yappy all daggone day, like right now, like what I'm doing right now. Anyways, so I think that's it. Um, that is part one of my 30 days of posting challenge. Let me know what y'all think so far. By the time y'all see this video, there will be a couple of days of content up across all the socials. So definitely go and take a look and let me know what you're thinking so far. And if you've done this type of challenge, or if this is not a challenge for you and this is just your way of life, let us know in the comments. How do you do it? What do you do? Do you have an assistant? Like, do you have a doppelganger that handles this for you? Because this is a lot of work. And I would like to know how you do it. I'm probably not gonna do it again. Can already tell that. But I would like to know how you're able to get these things done because congratulations. Congratulations to you. You are peak content person because my God was parts of this truly exhausting. The editing, I didn't even bring y'all along on the editing journey because truly, who wants to just set up a camera to watch me scream at my laptop or my phone for hours on end? There's just no reason for you to watch me cuss at CapCut over and over and over again. There's just no reason. Didn't even bring you along for the editing part of it, which took the vast majority of the time. But how do you do? How do you do? Anyways, we'll see how this challenge goes. I'm keeping my expectations very, very, very low because if I don't, I'll crash out if this doesn't result in if this doesn't meet the high expectations that I put in place. So we're keeping the expectations non-existent, to be quite honest. So if anything comes from this, we'll be happy about it. Well, as always, guys, thanks for rocking with me. I'll catch you on the internet somewhere. Bye.